But even within ufology, you often find this self-censorship. And it's only when you talk to the actual experiencers, people like Whitley Strieber, that you realize how truly bizarre and abstract the phenomenon can be. Because you have, just as I talked about playing the strongest suit in government UAP work, you even find it with the UFO researchers. And it's like, yeah, I have a case. It's the little grays on a table. Some of the cases that I got were not like that.
Can you go into them? Yeah, that would be great.
Well, one to answer your question about that left an impression on me it wasn't really an abduction, but it was an encounter with, I guess, beings. A particular woman who I got to know quite well had this experience that a whole bunch of apparently, normal-looking people all walked into an art shop in central London, started looking at all the produce, were there for like a long time, and she just felt there was something weird about these people. And then after a long time, they made a big show of coming up and buying a single pencil, like it was like a big thing. And then they handed over a very high denomination banknote. And when the woman went to give them their change, they looked confused, like they didn't understand the concept of getting their change bag. And she was so struck by this that she phoned somebody afterwards, and in fact during this whole thing, and said, there are aliens in my shop. And that's the kind of surreal nature of these encounters that sometimes doesn't even come out in the literature, because I think sometimes ufologists self-censor because they say, look, everyone knows what an alien looks like, everyone knows what an abduction is, it's a very structured thing, the beam, the table, the medical exam. When you get something like this that doesn't fit the model, ufologists self-censor and throw it out. But me being a kind of, I don't know, a sort of even-handed, like disinterested kind of observer of this, I take all the cases that I can get. And so that was one that really struck me.
So you said you got to know this woman quite well. Was that afterwards? Did she have any other encounters?
One that I would say was more of a time slip kind of phenomenon.
She missing time?
Seeing somebody that looked like herself from the future.
Whoa.
And it's again, I often find that the high strangeness of these cases is underreported.
Yeah.
I mean, some of it, I use the word surreal quite deliberately. The true phenomenon, I think, is much more surreal. I mean, we, of course, we can only look at all of this in a very anthropocentric way. If we are dealing with something truly alien, then it doesn't surprise me in a way that it is alien.